One and all to the Center for Spiritual Living, St. Augustine, Florida. How many of you are here for the first time? Welcome. Welcome. No, you're not here for the first. Well, you're here for the first time today. So everybody's here for the first time. All right, so I have a song that I play. And I think the words of this song is kind of self-explanatory. No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone, and someone cares for you as an individualization of divine point of view. This door, oh, this door right here is open for you. Oh, this door, I'm talking about this door. I said this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you. Yes. Now keep that going. Keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. My brothers and sisters, welcome our spiritual leader, the Reverend Dr. Ken Wilcox.
It turned on here. There we go. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, everyone. Whether you're black, you're white, you're gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you. And this door is a place where people care about you, love you, support you, encourage you, hopefully inspire you. Inspire you for what? For your best life possible. Because that's what we're here doing. We're here envisioning the best life we can have. The life of love and joy, health and prosperity. A life of love and a world of peace. A world of peace. Don't we need that this morning? Yes, so know your time here today is going to be well spent. You're going to leave here in some significant way healed, blessed, and prospered for your time being here. And to do that, to get that going, I always ask you to do just one simple thing each Sunday. And that's to leave all your troubles, your fears, your would-haves, your could-haves, your should-haves. Leave all the new stuff outside. And for the next 45 minutes, open up a time of sacred possibilities within your heart. And what are sacred possibilities? Well, they're for more of the best life, more joy, more happiness, more peace. And all of that is possible when we tune the world out and we tune in that sacred, still, small voice within our soul. That's what we're doing here today, and it's going to be powerful and dynamic, and you're going to leave here knowing something better for yourself. Well, just one quick announcement, or actually two announcements. We did the tour of Ravinia yesterday. Pat Conover did that. I hear it was really wonderful. Yes, Pat? we're getting our Venus Manley Scholarship Program going. This is where we give scholarships to 3 kids who have disabilities who want more education out beyond high school. And we have a person come up and says, I will match donations in the month of March to the Venus Manley, up to $500. Now, if we can match the $500, that means we can give an extra scholarship this year. Instead of 3, we can give 4. So in March, make your donation and just put it to the Venus Manley, and we have this wonderful, generous supporter who's going to match that for us. Well, those are all my announcements. Eddie, I know you got some amazing, good music for us this morning.
I think so.
Oh, wow. Did you see his concert on Thursday night? That was amazing. Thank you, Eddie.
You're welcome. All right. If it could be that we agree to live in harmony and set aside all that divides for the sake of humanity, would you say yes? Yes, yes, yes. If it could be that we agree to meet on common ground, plant a tree and spread the fruit of love all around, will you say yes? Yes, yes, yes. Come on, everybody, sing with me. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. If you believe in you and me, say yes, yes, yes. Woo! All right. If you believe like I believe, we can make a better world. Listening to each other till every voice is heard, singing yes, 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 yes. Ooh, what would you say that we found a way to end all poverty, so all could live with liberty from sea to shining sea? Oh, would you say yes? Come on, everybody, sing with me. Yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. If you believe in you and me, say yes, yes, yes. Ooh, come on, everybody, sing with me. Ooh, yes, 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 yes. If you believe in you and me, say yes, yes, yes. Ooh. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. If you believe in you and me, say yes, yes, yes. Say yes. Woo.
Say yes. Say yes to love. Say yes to joy. Say yes to that spirit of God's possibilities that's flowing in this room right now. Now, to get all this wonderful energy focused with an affirmative prayer and a reading, we're going to have our wonderful Pat Conover come up and do a treatment and a reading for us. Come on up, Pat.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning to those of you who are watching us via your technology at home.
Mm-hmm.
People are like stained glass windows. They sparkle and shine when the sun is out, but when the darkness sets in, their true beauty is revealed only if there is a light from within. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross said that. I use my light to see the magnificence in all people, to see the shards of exquisiteness in the mosaic of infinite intelligence. I see for all people beauty and grace, happiness and fulfillment. I demonstrate my loving presence with every interaction, conversation, and activity. I elevate all pressure, all tension, and all stress with the simple task of bringing my awareness to the light that is within. I live this day as an example of how the light of Spirit shines through the experience of life. Get comfortable. If you care to, close your eyes. The spirit of all universal energy is within us, flows through us, around us, at all times. We drink in the power that this brings to us. We take it in with peaceful hearts. We spread joy into the world. We are thankful that we are connected with Spirit in all ways. We are so grateful for opportunities that are available to us to be a light in the world, to spread peace in the world, to bring a joy to those who have not seen it. We know that this is true. We know that we have gratitude for all that we have, and we continue to express this gratitude in every way possible at all times. With this thankfulness, we send the message to the universe that we are the light. We will be the light. We continue spreading light and joy so the world can experience the peace that we have within ourselves. I send this into the great sphere of the universe by saying, and so it is.
Looking back on this life, I'm filled with gratitude. I've come so far, and it's all because of you. So I testify, each word is true. Every time I was tired of trying and about to break in two, I lean into you, lean into you, lean into you. No matter what I'm going through, your love is what I hold on to. I lean into you, my God. On your rock I stand, all of the ground is just sinking sand. Every time my turn was taken, every time my world was shaken, every time I'd been mistaken, every time my heart was breaking, deep down inside, I always knew, some way, somehow, I was going to make it through if I just lean into you, my God. No matter what life throws at me, greater is that which abides in me. I lean into you, oh my God. I lean into you. I lean into you.
I love that line he's used. Greater is that within me than what is in the world. And so I can look out on the world and I don't have to be fearful of anything. I can know that there is a power and goodness within me that can overcome every challenge I face. My talk this morning is the winds of change, because they certainly are blowing very hard right now. You know, my teacher and the person after him, they had the Atlanta church, and they never would address current issues. They always stayed kind of beyond what was going on in the world. But for me, it wouldn't be honest for me to say what's going on in the world and talk about how it does affect me and how I have to walk through this challenge. We are seeing lots of change right now. Dr. Holmes, our founder of our teaching, he said that every day is a new beginning, every day. But many of us want to cling on to the things of the past. They want to turn back time. But as Cher's saying, you know, it worked for her, but it doesn't work for anybody else. You cannot turn back time. It's impossible. We always are moving forward. There's always change. And we want to get in that flow of God's change. We try to cling to the past because we hold on to old ideas and imagery. And a lot of times those are myths that we've created for themselves about how things were. You know, people talk about the good old days. I've got the gray hair to prove that I went through the good old days. And some of this gray hair is because they weren't that good. You know, I was there. I saw a lot of it. They were fine for what they were. That's what we knew. But better has come along, and I'm grateful for that. People were, when I think back on my childhood and teens, people were so rule-bound and so worried. And my parents were obsessed with what the neighbors would think, They sent me off just to make sure I was going to grow up to be a total neurotic. They sent me off to this fundamentalist Christian school. And yes, indeed. And I remember one of my classmates, his sister, had an old car, and she had painted daisies on it. That was kind of a thing to do at that time. And they were so appalled by that. A car they wouldn't even let her come in the parking lot. Not even come into our parking lot with that car. You stay outside. And I think of my parents, poor parents. My sister, the one that was 8 years older than me, she was in college, and they were horrified with the idea she might run off and be a hippie. She was president of the Re-elect Richard Nixon Club in Georgia Southwestern. And her favorite singing group were the Carpenters. You don't ever hear anybody say, let's put on some Carpenters and drop some acid. That's not the way that worked. She one time brought a boy home, the boyfriend from college. She brought him home, and he did not wear socks. That was kind of a thing at that time, didn't wear socks. And my parents acted like she had brought the Antichrist home for the pot roast. Yes. And they were just, what will Mrs. Wilson think? Mrs. Wilson was the kindly old lady who lived next door to us, who hit the cooking sherry around 4 o'clock for medicinal purposes. Yeah. The medicinal purpose was it's 4 o'clock and she was going to hit the sherry. Now, Dr. Holmes wrote that there is a place within us that is eternal stillness and action, in the innermost recesses of our soul, and we can get in contact with that. We can never destroy it. We can never dim it. It's always going to be there. But there is also a place at the circumference of our being that's animated by the inner spirit. And it goes forth to accomplish, to do something in the world. There is something for us to do. We can't just hide away in a cave of isolation and hope that the world works out. There is something for us to know. There is something for us to be. There is something for us to say. Something for us to say. Now, I know I'm not alone, and that many of you probably have been with me and been watching and been horrified by what's going on in Ukraine today, that a peaceful nation would be invaded just for the satisfaction of one man's ego, one person's ego. That his dream is to recreate a world that has been long gone, and it's not going to be replaced. He wants to take Russia back to a time before the communist rule, back to the land of the czars. But when you study Russian history, you realize pretty quickly it wasn't that good back then. The Russian Empire was never a stable empire. It never was created lots of good things. It was always on the verge of collapse. But he has this fantasy. So he has isolated himself. He's living in a fantasy. And honestly, I don't think he's looking that good. I think he needs to get some fresh air and some sunshine. And he needs to be around some people. You see him, and there's huge distances between him and the people he's talking to. He does not have people around him willing to tell him the truth. And this is a bad situation to be in, because when you do that, they just will yes you into a cataclysmic problem. And they have allowed him to think that he is going to go into Ukraine and he's going to be able to take it over in a cakewalk. But the Ukrainians have another idea. They have tasted freedom, and they are not going back. They're not going back. Now, it's not in judgment, but I hear a lot of my New Thought compatriots, and a lot of them are saying, well, what we have to do is we have to just go in and we have to just go to a peaceful place within and just recognize ourselves as peace, and then we only see peace, then we can only recognize peace. Only peace will come to us, and we only recognize peace. And that's wonderful. That's good. But it also doesn't work if you're standing in front of a Russian tank. That's a different scenario. So I think we have to come up with another idea. How can we move this forward? And not just focus on our own consciousness, but keep our consciousness in peaceful, but also what else is there for us to do now? We're told to be in the world, but not of it. But we are in the world. So we don't want to fear anybody. We don't want to hate anybody. We don't want to become obsessed with anything. But we're called to do what we can do right where we are. And sometimes that requires action. I think about our civil rights movement. They were operating under a high spiritual practice of nonviolence, but it did not mean non-action. They were nonviolent, but sometimes that meant putting their bodies in between their dreams and someone else's billy club. And they did it time and time again, and they made changes. I have a wonderful friend, I haven't seen him in a while now, Reverend Ron Stafford. He was from Mount Moriah Church. One time their men's choir came here and just rocked this place out. They were amazing. I'd love to have them come back. But Reverend Stafford, who was just a wonderful guy, he was a young man here in St. Augustine during the Civil Rights Movement. And this was a tough place to be in the Civil Rights Movement in St. Augustine. From what I understand, basically the city government was run by members of the Ku Klux Klan. There were lots of violence here. It wasn't the peaceful little place we know today. And he grew up in Lincolnville. Andrew Young came, and Andrew Young was organizing a march from Lincolnville to the Constitution Plaza. And they got the young people together, and they got them lined up, and they told them, they said, keep your head down, hold on to the person in front of you, and keep marching on no matter what. You keep on the move. And they did. Nancy.
It's important about this, that it was a native St. Augustine dentist that stood up and started the movement here with the kids, and then Andrew came as well.
So, thank you, Nancy. So, I've been really amazed at the bravery of the young or the people there in Ukraine. I've been particularly amazed with the bravery of their young president, President Zelensky, 44 years old. Now, what you don't know about him was that he was a comedian. And here's a fascinating thing. He was a comedian, and he had a television program where he was playing a school teacher who accidentally got elected to be president of Ukraine. That program became so popular that he ran for president of Ukraine, and now he's the president of Ukraine. And he is facing down Putin toe to toe. He's facing them down. And when you hear him talking about, what's happening to him, he says, I know if they come, if I'm captured, I'm going to be murdered. My family is going to be murdered. And he's probably right. But he's not leaving. He's there, and he is broadcasting to his people, stand up. Don't let them come in. It's heartbreaking to see the mothers who have fled with their babies, who didn't have time to pack. How do you flee with a baby? How can you possibly bring the milk you need, the diapers you need? It's heartbreaking. Zelensky's told them, he says, leave your fears and live from your freedom. Live from your freedom. And you see people lining up in neighborhoods that have been bombed, giving blood. Or people who are returning from safe areas, going back into the nation because they say they want to, protect their nation. So I wonder why. Why is all this happening? Why is this happening? Why, after we've had 2 years of this pandemic, why is it happening now? And I think we have had, there are cycles of history, and I think we've had a cycle of history. We have, and it's an authoritarian cycle, one that had come through with Mussolini and Hitler and Tito, has come back through. And there are many of us who just would soon to give our lives over to someone who can make judgments for us. One of the biggest drawbacks to our teaching is we have to accept personal responsibility. And a lot of us would just as soon leave our personal responsibility over to a strong person in the government or to a Father God and just let them make the decisions. But we have to make our own decisions if we are going to grow and be the spiritually mature, spiritual people that we've been called to do. So this cycle that has come through, a lot of it is based on the idea of going back to something. And there's no going back. We have to step up and we have to do what Spirit is calling us to do. I was listening to Carolyn Mays this past week, and it was interesting because she shared a Hindu story that my own wonderful friend Swamini Radhakananda would share with me. And it's about in the Hindu scripture, and I'm not going to kind of use the name of it because I never can pronounce it correctly. And it's about Arjuna. He was the main character in the Hindu scripture, and he's about to go into battle. Now, he has a help person, and he doesn't realize the help person is actually Shiva. Shiva's there encouraging him. And Arjuna says, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go into this battle. I don't want to, I know bad things are going to happen. I'd rather not do this. And Shiva tells, you've got to do it. This is what's before you. This is what the universe is calling you to do. You can't turn away from that that's right in front of you to do. You have to step up, and you have got to make a difference. You've got to make your voice heard. I saw another amazing video this week. It's actually a documentary. It's about a Muslim woman. I love stories that get rescued from history. Her name was Noor Khan, and she was from the Khan family, who was the head of the Sufi spiritual tradition. And she had been raised up in Sufism for love and compassion, for sharing truth. She had trouble. She never could tell a lie. She had grown up in Paris, but when the Nazis came in, she fled to England. And there she wanted to do what she could to help out the liberation of France. And so she got involved with Churchill spies. Churchill had created this group of spies to go back and to do as much damage as they could to the Nazis. And so this little tiny Islamic woman, Sufi woman, she got involved. And they tried to train her, but all her organizers said, she's not very bright, she's not very strong, we don't see any talents that she has at all. Now, the head of the organization somehow spotted something within her, and he knew that she had a strength. So he kept her into the system, and she graduated, and they got her back in France. She became a part of the radio systems, and it was the most dangerous job you could have because she was sending messages out from France back to London, and this was the most dangerous job you had. And she had a talent at it. She could do the coding very well. While she was there was a break in security, and all of her comrades got arrested. She was the last one. And she was able for a couple of weeks to keep sending signals out that basically allowed that group to survive. She was the linchpin that saved thousands of people. She stood up. And now there's a monument to her in Hyde Park because the British have realized if not for her, they don't know what would have happened. So we do what we can. And of course, we want to focus on our own consciousness. Do your prayer work. Now more than ever, do your prayer work. I know many of you are like me. You're waking up at 2 and 3 o'clock in the night and having trouble going back to sleep. Well, here's a wonderful thing. Use that time to start doing your prayer work. See your consciousness, your prayers being powerful and dynamic. See this young man, Zelensky. See him continuing his work. See him being brave. See him continue speaking the truth and encouraging and inspiring his people. See a dome of protection over the Ukrainian people, the children and the mothers and the elderly. See them being protected. Call in divine right order. That's a great principle to use. If you can't see a good solution, call in divine right order. And that means I can't see how this is going to work out, but Spirit can. And then envision those Russian troops. You know, they're going there. There are many of them. They're reporting this. They don't know why they're going in there. They don't want to fight these people. See them dropping their rifles. See them going back to their country and say, we don't need to do this. We don't need to be causing all this turmoil, this damage, this destruction. And see the Russian people themselves stepping up and saying, we're not going to be a part of this. We're not going to have this. This isn't who we are. Now, here's going to be a tough one. Are you ready for the tough assignment? See love and healing going to Vladimir Putin. Because something happened to him bad, that would cause him to be so angry and so ego-driven that he would need to rain down this kind of destruction on innocent people. So see him getting the healing that he needs. Now, you don't have to see him still in office. You can see him, at some resort or something, but see him getting some kind of healing. And then see the people around him stepping up. See healing and peace raining down. Dr. Holmes says, if we will take time out on a daily basis to sense this presence of peace and love and accept it in our lives, in our actions, that before long, it's going to appear in our lives. Something new and wonderful wants to be born by means of you. You are needed. You are necessary. It can only happen through you, a more perfect life. But we have to believe in it. We've got to have faith in it, and we've got to put it to work. So what part of your life are you willing to put some faith in, some action in? And don't give up on yourself. Don't think you're too old. I don't know how many of y'all, when I was a younger person, I loved this musical group. They were called Tears for Fears. They have been separated for 30-something years now, and they're getting back together. And I saw them the other day, and I thought to myself, because they're my age, and I thought to myself, oh my God, they're old men. How did that happen? But you know what? They're not letting that stop them. They're creating more music. And the same thing with me. I had almost talked myself out of going back to the gym because I was thinking to myself, I'm too old for that. It's too strenuous. I'm going to do it. I've been back for the last 2 weeks, and you know what? I can do it. I might not be able to do it. You know, one of the coaches used to ask me, he said, now, Ken, can you do this way? I would say, you get me a rope and pulley, and sure, I can do it that way. I'll do it the way I can, and then it's going to have some benefit. So support yourself, and then support the people around you in love. Do what you can to support love. It may be reaching out to someone. It may be showing a bit of kindness. It may be sending a card. Maybe giving somebody a call. On Facebook this past week, a friend of mine, well, she's really not a friend of mine at all. She's someone I knew. She was very high up in our Science of Mind movement when I first got going. And she said on the panel that actually approved me as a minister. And so I just knew her from a distance. She has, later on, when I came back to or went to another retreat 2 years later, she purposely called me out and told me what a wonderful job I was doing. And it meant the world to me. She put a note on Facebook that her birthday is coming up, and that she had her church that she has retired from is having financial trouble, and she was asking people to donate to that church in memory of her birthday. And so I did. And immediately she responded, and she was like, thank you, Ken, that's really generous. And then I responded to her, and I said, you know what? I said, that one retreat that you spoke kindly of me, you don't know how much that meant to me. You don't know how much support and encouragement. Well, we all have that ability. We all have that ability, and you don't know how much another person could be hurting. You don't know how much, how much good you can do. I did a video this week. It was called A Call for Peace. And in that video, I said, there had been one shotgun that was fired in Sarajevo in 1918, and it caused World War I, 40 million deaths. But the opposite of that is true. If one little small act of anger can cause this huge tidal wave of pain and destruction, who knows that one act of kindness and love can cause an avalanche of love and compassion? And it's what we're being called to do. You're exactly where you are to create a wonderful miracle of life, and you can do it. I have a dear friend this week, and she has just gotten a roommate. And she said she woke up a couple of days ago and she could hear something kind of going on in the roommate's bedroom. It didn't sound exactly right. She was paused to go check on her because it was in the bedroom. But after a while, she decided to look in. The young woman was in a diabetic seizure. They got her to the hospital. The emergency room doctor told her, said, if she had been alone, she would be dead by now. You saved her life. You have the power to create wonderful and amazing, great good right where you are. And you don't even know the miracles you can create. So this week, don't you get discouraged. This week, don't get dismayed. This week, don't let the news media convince you that the world is all going to turmoil. You remember who you are and whose you are, that you are a child of the Most High. You have power and goodness flowing through you. You are here to do mighty and good works. Spirit has never been disappointed in you in one moment. It called you by name from stardust to be right where you are, and great and glorious is the work that's before you. It's the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you.
We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, we're amazing. And we've just begun to feel the power and freedom to be who we came here to be, as we discover each other and to celebrate humanity. We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, times are changing. It's a love revolution as we are walking together. Love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for everyone. To a world that works for everyone. As we are walking together, love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for everyone. To a world that works for Thank you.
Thank you. We're creating a world that works for everyone through love and compassion. And to make that happen, one way to do it is by supporting our center here, this wonderful place. We're coming back. You can even see today we're a little bit stronger. Perhaps in the next couple of weeks, we won't be able to have to wear a mask, and I think we'll even get a bigger crowd in. Yes. We're going to continue being that beacon of hope and light and love and inspiration that we have been, and we're going to be even greater. And your support is helping us. And you can support us in a couple of ways. You can support us financially, of course. We like that. But you can also volunteer for us. You can also do prayer work for us. Pray and see this center growing and thriving. See a wonderful choir behind Eddie. See our youth program growing and thriving. So however you choose, we're grateful for it. And if you will, take your offering and place it over your heart and read with me this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, all that I share, I join in the divine flow, and all I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is.
Love has come. Love has come. Love has come into this place. Love has come. Love has come. Love has come into this place. Peace has come. Sing along with me. Peace has come into this place. Peace has come. Peace has come. Peace has come into this place. Joy has come. Joy has come. Joy has come. Joy has come into this place. Ooh. Into this place.
So I'm going to do a closing affirmative prayer. I'm going to do it in the first person, but take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, well, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, well, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. There is only one God and one mind, and that one mind is at perfect peace. It is at perfect ease. And here now, I open up the channel of my heart and soul to allow that perfect peace to flow through me. And in doing so, I envision a better world for myself and for everyone in it. I envision a world of peace where we have laid down the swords, where we have raised our eyes up to see ourselves as God sees us, where we let go of the ego and we embrace one another, where we create a new heaven and a new earth of sisterhood and brotherhood, where people live together, supporting, encouraging one another. Here today, I know Spirit is raining down blessings upon us. And so I envision all those people in Ukraine getting the help they need, the protection they need. I envision the Russian people rising up and saying, no more, no more, no more need for war. This morning, I know there's a powerful and dynamic energy that's radiating from this building like a beacon of love and hope radiating out into the world. This morning, I see God's love. I see God's people being rained down with blessings of joy and love and compassion and kindness. It's what Spirit has called us to do. And this morning, I'm saying yes to it all. It's my truth. I celebrate this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my dear friends, I want to leave you with one final thought. Your life, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God is calling us to be. This is Reverend Ken with Eddie Watkins, wishing you many blessings.
Please join me. Stand and sing the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with our family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. God bless you. Namaste. Be good to each other.